So, last week's episode, immediately engaged in combat with the king of the goblins, our fair heroes end the encounter decisively with no fatalities. They secure a resting place for their giant squid companion, and Parter magically compels the Goblin King to escort them out of their lair and into the tundra, where the jealous Parter beats King Carthanax to death, and Chad acquires a very powerful axe that comes with a lot of baggage. After a 12-day hike, the group finally arrive at the Aarakocra village to find it mostly deserted. That's what I'm done with. Ready to roll over and die. Now. So, the sky is dark grey and roiling with black clouds. The wind is bitter with snow that hits your face like 1,000 tiny needles. You can't see more than 20 feet in front of you, and you barely notice when you stumble upon the first structure. But the further you move into the cliffside, the better the shelter becomes, until you can see the Aarakocran settlement of Graves Perch. You notice a Gothic mansion carved into the side of the mountain, and a settlement constructed out of elaborate and intricate nest-like communal areas and wooden-covered multi-level domiciles. The village seems to be deserted, but upon close inspection, there's evidence of a mass pyre off to one side of the settlement. Most places are dark and empty, others boarded up with signs of illegible writing. Now, first of all, does anybody speak Aarakocran?
I don't know what I'm looking. No, I don't.
Okay, yeah. So these
could have been a secret
signs,
memory.
It could have been, yeah. In your past life.
Ask your secret axe.
Maybe your secret axe.
Maybe I will. Everybody take their headphones off. I'm kidding.
Yeah, so these signs are on occasional domiciles of front, like nailed to the front door, have like scratches, like a very scratched talon-like alphabet carved into them, but nobody can read what they say.
What about our little friend?
She's started to scurry off in the direction of one particular nest.
She said she was going to take us. We asked if we can go with her to her family's house so that we haven't had any food or drink in, like, I don't know, we'd run out maybe 2 or 3 days ago. I don't know.
Correct. Yeah.
So we want to follow her.
Do that.
Because we don't know anyone else here and it looks pretty haunted. And as much as I love haunted stuff, I want food and drink.
It's a bit scary. What do you think?
We just have to be careful not to get infected by anything, right? We can't touch anything or be around anybody. So
don't touch the infected, right?
What did you say? Can we wear masks and wash our hands?
Yeah, you got magical antibacterial gel.
I actually have that. So.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That sounds like a smart thing to do.
So, yeah, running after or keeping up with Bleh'd, the female Aarakocra, she goes off to one of the multi-tiered domiciles. This particular door doesn't have a sign on it and is left open. There's a bunch of snow that's blown in to the main communal area. She runs in and starts chittering in what you can assume is Aarakocran. The whole place looks turned over. There are, like, all the cupboards are open, all of the crockery and cutlery and pots and pans and stuff have been knocked over or upside down or been disheveled in some way. She starts to get more panicky and anxious and then scurries upstairs. If you follow her, you see a similar scene where all of the beds have been turned, drawers have been opened and emptied out. And as she looks around, she can't find anyone and eventually sits down on one of the beds and puts her, like, wings and hands over her face. Starts to cry.
We're used to fighting, not comforting.
Can we just
You stand there.
stare at her for 5 seconds, for 5 minutes? Just kind of.
Should we throw a blanket over her?
That's pretty comforting.
I'm going to sit next to her and I'm not going to ask her what happened because I don't think she knows because she hasn't been here. But I'm going to say, they're there, but not touch her.
Mm-hmm.
And ask her.
Are you going to hover a hand around her?
Ask her who lives in that big mansion and what happens on the pyre. Right?
What he just asked is what I say.
So through Mike, Chad asks
I
about that
messaged that.
mansion.
I
Yeah.
messaged that to her.
Just your Xavier style.
Yes.
She looks up her like a big. I think I said that she was like a blue jay looking Aarakocra. So she's got like turquoise and green feathers. She's got quite small proportions, and she chirps out that she doesn't know what the pyre is. The pyre is brand new to her, but the mansion, they don't go there. They leave them well enough alone. It's difficult to get any like specifics out of her because she seems quite distraught with how her town has been left. If you remember, she said that people were dying when she left, and there was a disease going through it, but you can infer that there was still activity and people around. It looks like the whole place has either been evacuated or something worse, and her home has been turned over and none of her family are anymore.
What were you looking for when you came in? You were looking at drawers.
She wasn't looking for drawers, but she was searching the rooms. The drawers had been opened and turned over. Like someone else had been in here before she got here and like searched through the whole place.
Does it look like it was someone like packing quickly, or does it look like it had been like ransacked?
It doesn't look like anything had been taken per se, although not knowing what this place had been stocked with, it'd be difficult to ascertain like what was missing. But it looked more like someone's pulled a drawer out, turned it upside down, and then discarded it, rather than someone actually like cares about the place and has packed.
I'm going to ask her then if there was anything in the house that someone would have been looking for.
She shakes her head. No, we're quite relatively poor. I have some savings and some jewelry, but that's about it.
Do we know if she lived with anybody else?
You know that she had a son.
Just a son. Okay. Where's your son?
And then she starts crying more.
Oops.
Like, read the room.
Have you looked under the blankets?
The blankets that you put on her.
Yeah. Is he under there?
We haven't like looked around the house. We've literally been in 2 rooms, right?
Yeah.
Should we be touching anything?
Can't imagine that's ever the answer to that is yes.
I mean, like blankets, for example. Should we
Like
be
blankets,
touching
not us.
Taking like a cursory glance around, it doesn't look like the beds would have a figure underneath the blankets covers. And she has been like rifling through stuff as well.
Is it a possibility that your son is just out?
She like nods in between sobs. A nod sob. A sob knob. No way in it.
Soft knob. Tim.
Sob nod.
She did not do that.
If your son is in fact not out, but has been taken, let's say,
Or
who
dead.
would have done something like this? What can we do? Who can we go after?
She shakes her head and says, I don't know who it would have been.
You're
You
great
said-
help.
You
Why
said
is
that
that automatic assumption that he's been taken?
I
Why are
said,
you lying?
I mean, you all do have a specific set of skills.
Greece.
Taken.
Yeah.
Corpse angels.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
detect magic.
No, he's
Would you like to cast that as one of your
Yeah.
spells or as
Probably
a
a good
ritual?
idea.
We've got a little bit of time on hand, right?
Yeah, you can spend 10 minutes if you want to, if you're not.
Yeah, I'll do that.
specifically-
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. After 10 minutes, Parter has drawn like a hippie drum circle around him, just placed some twigs and leaves and other like druidic paraphernalia, and sat down in that very painful looking cross legs where your feet are on top of both of your thighs. That I don't think like should be physically possible, but apparently is, and is for
That's right.
healthy people.
Flexibility is.
And after humming some Furbolg druidic chants, you can start seeing through your eyes within, like, I think about a 30-foot radius, anything that's magical. And you do find, I'm assuming you're like just going through the house, like scanning each room.
Yeah.
Could make that assumption that you wouldn't just be standing there looking at her for like the next
No.
minute.
I wanted to kind of gauge if
Yeah.
that's kind of what was being looked for, or whether there's anything more to it.
And she's currently in her son's bedroom. And when you look at the covers, the bed or the covers itself are not magical, but there is some very, very faint, like a magical aura on the bed itself.
Visibility cloak.
As he's doing that, could I also be doing a 10-minute concentration for
Of course.
detect disease?
Yes, you
Just
absolutely
to
can.
see if, these magical things that you find are touchable.
So at the same time that you have cast your detect magic and the detect disease go off relatively the same time, you notice that like the residual magical aura in the bed has been left by something that was in the bed, rather than there is still something there that is magical. And the detect disease reveals something more. The bed itself is diseased. You can tell that the Aarakocran lady that's sitting on the bed now is diseased, and there are footsteps that are leading out from the bedroom into the hallway and down the stairs. Again, everything's quite faint at this point.
That's so weird because we cured her. She's ill again. Do you think-
The disease that she's now lighting up with seems to be fresher than the residual what was in the bed on the floor. Putting things
when it
together,
says-
you think that she's now been reinfected, having touched everything in the house.
When it says you can detect the kind of disease in each case, do I know anything more than I did last time, or is it just the same?
So now that, you would know pretty much the same stuff. It seems you know enough that it's exactly the same disease that she had, and that it is now sort of contact dependent.
Are any of us glowing?
Looking around, I believe you mentioned that you weren't touching her or anything in the house, and so no one here is currently infected.
Okay. She's
Mike, did you sit on the bed?
No one else sat on the bed. No, I think you did throw a cover on her,
I mean,
but then
there
you
was
just
talk of a
like
blanket.
hover-handed, so you didn't actually touch her as well.
Big B's hand.
Big beat hover-hand.
It's just there to comfort.
But it's massive, so it just
Yeah,
like
it's just a big
surrounds
hug.
her like a Swiss roll.
Yeah.
I think Josh, you can tell. Like I said, I'm going to be honest because I don't want to lie in case a viewer says. But you did say it. I said I'd sat on the bed, but I didn't touch her.
Oh, okay. If you sat on the bed, then Mike is currently glowing in a similar fashion to her.
Okay. Well, it's fine because I have 3 second level spell slots to cure this, but that's it then. I will need to sleep every time someone else gets the disease. So
Well,
You're affected.
we just
So yeah.
won't touch anything.
what did you say?
We just won't touch anything.
Which we shouldn't have done to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Can I help her?
Should we follow the footsteps, or do we want to try to find the sun?
I think we should.
They're
try
probably
and
the same, right?
find her. Oh yeah, I feel like it.
They're probably the same.
Because it goes from the bed. It goes from the bed with the magic aura,
Yeah, downstairs.
and then downstairs. So it's going to be him. Let's do that.
In the meantime, I can touch Mike and make her better.
Yep. So you spend a second level spell slot and you cure Mike of her disease.
Mhm.
I mean,
Oh,
Mike,
wait,
you
I
don't
can do it at
feel
3rd
anything.
level as well. So
Okay.
Sorry.
So you got a little bit more.
I got a little bit more.
Yeah, Mike, you don't feel anything different because the disease has not actually made any symptoms yet. But according to Aya, you were infected and now you're not.
Nice to do that.
What about
You're welcome.
what about D?
She's still infected, yeah.
Just let her
He
die.
obviously made it
All
12
NPCs
days
die.
without dying because it took us 12 days to get here. So I say
True.
we save it in case the son is like really ill because he's been left for ages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good call. Should
Tim, can I work out before we do make a move, can I work? Like, is there any indication of what that magic aura is? Can I tell anything of that, or is it just a case of yes, it's magic? That's it.
So with detect magic, you can detect what form of magic it is, and so combining your knowledge and Aya's knowledge, you know that it's a necromantic disease.
Ooh.
Dead people again.
Share that naturally. I share that with the group.
Ooh.
Ooh.
In a message. Ooh.
Ooh. It's a death magic.
We keep bumping into dead magic.
I feel like we.
It feels like it's a bit of the story we're missing.
Maybe that's why we keep killing everybody.
All the black magic.
Wait, what's the reason why you kill everyone?
Because we just assume that they're all rotting and that we should kill them, put them in.
We just figure this out now.
You just killed the whole family just because they looked a bit ill.
Yeah.
They were pretty ill.
You know the Halloween episode where we were the bad guys?
Uh-huh.
I know we joked about it. The more I think about it, we are the bad guys, and they were probably good guys.
I think we're worse because we're pretending that we're like good people, but we're doing shitty things.
If we're so justified in it.
I don't know what you're talking about. We travelled 12 days for this.
It's true.
Let's go follow those.
Or you travelled 12 days to get away from the king that you murdered and the axe that you
Also,
stole.
though,
He deserved it. He deserved it.
when we asked the people who watch on YouTube what we should do, like that was the least popular choice, was to help the third woman.
Oh,
And
So
then,
it was
Let's just let her rot then. Fine.
okay.
what was the most popular?
the most popular was, good question, Ellie.
At
Well-
Ellie Bev.
And I'm empty. Oh, no, it's not like that.
I really, really like that they're just as indecisive as we are. The most popular choice was find a home for DJ and keep.
Done.
But only by 2%. Most
Yeah.
of the vote was split between deal with the undead army, steal the axe from the Goblin King, solve the Sutton Shore conspiracy, and house DJ and keep.
We've done 3 of those things.
We
So
did pretty well out of that.
Yeah, you still stolen the axe.
we are great at this game, guys.
You haven't dealt with the undead army.
We said we done
currently
3 of them. We
helping
did
the
one.
Yeah, you found a home for DJ Inky though. But it's just the Sutton Shore conspiracy, helping the bird lady, and dealing with the undead army.
So basically, we achieved all of our random tangents and none of the actual plot.
Exactly.
Got it.
Well done,
So-
guys.
So on that, to
go
that,
follow
we're
these
just going to leave
footsteps.
Bird Lady rotting on the bed, and we're going to go follow the zombie boy.
No, we're following her and trying to find her son.
Oh.
Come on.
We're
We
following-
walked 12 days.
Crying.
Say it again, Ellie.
We should just leave her on the bed because she's crying and
Yeah.
probably not very helpful.
Dead weight, literally.
Whoa.
Josh.
Yikes.
Josh, I will infer now that your detect magic only lasts for a specific amount of time, same
Right.
as your detect disease. So you have a finite limit on this spell unless you want to cast it again. So you do want to track these
Yes.
footprints.
So basically, shut the up and get on with it.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm just saying, like, you more than happy for you to carry on. You can just reuse another spell slot, but I don't want you
That's
to
right.
turn around at some point and be like, right, let's go and find it. And I'll be like, yeah, the spell's ended. Sorry.
No.
Without giving you
so-
a forewarning.
Let's boogie.
So let's get out.
Okay, so detect magic. That lasts for, I think it was 1 minute, wasn't it?
10
Am I
minutes.
correct? 10
Oh no,
minutes.
yeah, duration up to 10 minutes.
Duration
Same
up to
with
10 minutes.
Disease.
And how long is disease?
Up to 10 minutes. For
Up to 10 minutes. Perfect. Yeah, so I'm going to say you've spent like a couple of minutes discussing it. So you've got about 8 minutes left on this, each spell together. Your powers combined, you can kind of track where the footprints go. The footprints lead down the stairs, out the front door. It gets a little bit more difficult when it's in the snow because the snow is then packed over the top. But I think you can like sense through most barriers. It's only blocked like through stone, metal, lead, that kind of stuff. So you can see through the snow and you can see where these footprints are. They take a sharp left and they go towards the cliffside. And as you navigate around the other structures in this village, you see that it is actually taking a winding path up towards this Gothic mansion that's carved into the side of the cliffside. However, it takes longer than 8 minutes to traverse all of this. And so about halfway up the winding road that's carved into the rock, it ends. But it does look like it's carrying on towards a mansion.
Did we pass the pyre on the way?
The pyre, you didn't like go right past it. You could take a detour if you want to. Like at this point, when the spells have ended, you can double back and have a look at the pyre if you want to. You got close enough to see that it is just black logs and kindling and so forth. And there are shapes in the pyre, but you don't get close enough to really examine it properly.
Is a pyre a fire?
Yeah, it's like a big bonfire where you burn people.
I was going to say, it's probably where they've just burned all the diseased birds.
Nice.
Are there can we tell, like, how big is, sorry if you mentioned it, like, how big is this village? How many other houses are around?
Yeah, I can tell you exactly how big the village is. It is... Let's load up my thingamajig.
Sorry.
That's fine. Where's my... Oh, there it is. So, Gravesend is about 583 souls, divided up into a household of about 3. So you're looking at probably about 200 domiciles and maybe a dozen communal areas.
And nobody else is out right now?
Nope, you haven't seen a single other person.
Should we go knock on some doors? Or just go to the mansion?
I think go to the mansion, because last time we knocked on doors, we ended up killing innocent people.
Mm-hmm.
Were they innocent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Probably.
We don't want Josh to turn into a giant horse. And
We have no time for throwing
Or
up
horse
on each other and grease and
Mm-hmm. But then
You've
that
changed.
same time when we got to the mansion, it had a mushroom god in it. So
true.
you have to be
Sug
prepared for
Demoy.
mushroom god. Sug Demoy.
I mean, we haven't
Palace
had
of
it in
1,000
a while, so it might be good to catch up.
True.
Yeah,
True.
touch base. Sorry, yes, Emmy?
what time of the day is it?
So I think you got there relatively in the morning, so about 10, 11 o'clock. By the time you sort of followed, I always forget her name confused with the son's name, Deed into her house, talked about it, tracked everything. You probably look about midday at this point.
So it's quite light outside. Like even though we can't track the footsteps anymore, we can see obviously it's leading towards the mansion.
Yeah, you're now in like an overcast part of the cliff side. So it's like carved into the cliffside, so it's shielding you from the majority of the snow. Although there is dark clouds above, and it is snowing.
I mean, like, there's nothing good waiting for us, right? Like, in the houses or in the mansion, so let's just go for the mansion. Let's go fight some
Big or
mushrooms.
go home.
Yeah.
Bunch
And
of
then
mushrooms.
we'll jump in our little space car and ride off to the next adventure.
That's a good point. Where is your space car right now? Because it's a bit too big
It's
to
in
get
space.
onto the narrow... Oh, okay. Yeah. But how do you get to the space car if it's already in space?
We got in my tiny little box and teleported down.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, everybody squeezed into the.
No, I don't know, where did we leave the car?
You could probably leave it in the town square if you want to, or outside of Deed's house.
I don't
Let's-
want to leave it anywhere where other people can touch it and infect it.
Or
Yeah.
burn
Oh,
it.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it not fit in the bag? Did we establish that?
Oh yeah, it's way too big to fit into the opening of the bag.
Just
Yeah,
everyone
it has to be
should-
something that can fit into like a bag opening to fit into that.
Can we just park it between some houses so that it's not obvious?
Should I
I
throw
mean, yeah, you can find a little like side street if you want to.
should I throw Chad's pad on top of it?
Will people then just touch Chad's pad?
But then
I
it
could always
disappears.
I can see it when we get back if I can do detect disease on it, and then we can not touch it if it's disease. I don't know how we clean
Yeah,
it.
that's good.
Just do that.
Yeah.
But let's still like park it in an alley at least, and not just next to the fire pyre.
If you want to, you can try and disguise it if you want. There are ferns around, like
I'll put
evergreen
a-
trees.
Isn't there a bunch of snow? Let's just pour some snow on it.
Yeah, if you want to take the time.
Yeah. Let's build a snowman out of our space car.
It's the only rational thing to do.
Snow car.
Snowman space car.
Yeah.
This is not a priority. We need to just go to the mansion.
We already got distracted.
Can we get
Let's-
distracted?
Make it look like what's his
Real
name?
question.
The Yeti.
Yeah, the real question is, can you build a snowman?
And I build a
Do
snowman.
you want to build a snowman?
Do you want to build a snowman?
Okay, well then we kind of hit it. Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
bored halfway through covering it and then wander off.
Sounds like us.
Sounds like us.
Yeah. Like a 7-year-old child at Christmas. You're on to the next present.
Yep.
In this case, a haunted mansion.
Okay. You take the narrow cut through that winds back and forth up towards the Gothic mansion, which, as I described before, is cut into the side of the cliff itself. So imagine windows, doors, and edifices carved into the very rock itself, and then the majority of the mansion is inside the cliff. So everything is stone, apart from the glass that's on it. It looks very foreboding. There are upwards of 20 gargoyles positioned at different points on the edifices. There's very thin, tall, stained glass windows. There are pillars in front of the doors. The doors themselves are very thin, tall, stone, but carved ornately into geometric patterns. If you look into the stained glass windows, you can't see, they're not clear, but it does seem to be dark inside. If you press your face up against it, you can't really see any movement inside or any light coming from inside. And there are at least 5 floors. There may be more inside the rock face.
I think we should knock. It's only polite.
Let's throw rocks at the windows.
I feel like those are 2 very different approaches.
As long as we don't set fire to a witch on the doorstep, I think we're already learning.
How about
We,
so that we don't touch the door, we throw rocks at the door in the pattern of a knock?
yeah, that's good. And then we'll hide behind bushes and
Yeah.
see what comes out. Yeah, I'm up for
Why
that.
are we hiding?
To see what comes out. What if a mushroom queen comes out? Then we know what we're up against.
Perfect logic, I can't argue.
Per usual.
So who's throwing rocks?
I'll throw the rock.
There you go.
Okay. So you throw 3 rocks.
Mhm.
And then you all hide.
Mm-hmm.
Can you all roll perception checks for me, please? When you dive off to the side of the beaten track. Nice, Parter. Nice.
All right, Alice. No need to hide that well.
If it was a hiding check, I would have disadvantage and it would be -1. But it's perception, so we're fine.
What are we adding it to?
Your perception, please.
9 is +8.
Nice. So 17. We've got 17, 20 or 21, and then 20, 19 or 20. Annie, you've got 10 or 11.
10.
And then Chad.
Oops, sorry.
That's right.
Having fun watching us.
Cool.
Enjoying.
So, Alice, Parter, Aya, and Pip, you all dive off to the right, and the other 2 dive off to the left. And as you're hiding, waiting for something, you look over to one side, and in the snowdrift, you see what looks to be a figure. And I'm going to say, Aya, with your natural 20 on your perception roll, you can instantly see the pronounced beak and some part of the wing protruding from the snowdrift. You think it's an Aarakocra that's been frozen to death. Right, so Parter's going to stay with the body as he starts to try and unearth the creature. You do notice that it is the same. Aarakocra have multiple different species within their own species, much like birds do. And you notice that this is also a smaller blue jay. So you can kind of assume that it may be related to D.
Did you say a smaller one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Probably your son.
Then he's made it all the way up to here, but was unable to gain entry and died of exposure or disease on the outside.
Yeah, can we tell if there's he doesn't have an arrow stuck in his head or anything, right?
He doesn't have any impact damage of any kind. There's no wounds that are frozen over or his skull's not been caved in. Just looks like he's huddled up and died in the snow.
So do you think he was coming here for like a cure then?
It's very, very difficult to tell.
It
And
seems
wait a
like
minute.
he thought he would get help and he didn't.
Did he die going towards the mansion or going away from the mansion? Can we tell?
Again, very difficult to tell.
Okay.
He's kind of off to the side and facing the path. So you don't know if he didn't make it and died here, or made it and then was travelling back.
Hmm.
Have we thrown rocks at the door yet?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's when you sort of died off to the side and found the body. Parter's started to dig it out, try to thaw him out. He's going to try and discover like the reason behind why this creature has died. You've thrown 3 rocks at it to mimic like the knock on the door.
Can I just remind Parter to not touch the body?
Oh yeah, he's just like digging around it, and then he's going to use some of his low-level cantrips to thaw the creature out.
Cool.
He's thrown 3 rocks at it, and as you kind of hunker down, half looking at this body, half looking at the door, there's no response.
Maybe they're having dinner.
It doesn't seem like a very good place based on its imposing nature and the fact that there's frozen children outside. So maybe we should force our way in.
Let's smash a window.
Okay, that seems like the reasonable next step.
It's that or we light somebody on fire. So
It's true. I mean, Parter's right there.
If Josh was here, even if someone was like, "I'm coming down the stairs," and then like 2 minutes later, they're dead.
Yep.
What's the door made out of?
Stone.
I mean, I don't want to go into a haunted mansion uninvited.
Why not?
But would you
You
prefer
like
to go
that?
into haunted mansion invited?
Yeah.
That's scarier. That's
Wouldn't you?
scarier.
No, at least then they want me there.
um,
For what reason?
That's up to them.
did
That's scary.
did the path that we came up lead just to the front, or is there like a side around the back?
There's no back to it because it's built into the cliff face.
Oh, right. You already said that. Well, then, yeah, I think the only recourse is to throw rocks in the windows.
Yeah. Agreed.
This is when I wish that I had Bernard.
Bernard.
I mean, you do
I
have,
Dying.
you do have Shadow, Bando, and
Forget
Kenko.
Should we leave something flaming on their doorstep?
It
It
worked
worked
before.
last time. That's what I'm
We
saying.
got an
Right?
invite after that.
Yeah.
Did it work last time?
We've established that it works.
I don't think it worked
No
very
way.
well last time.
I mean, in that scenario, they came out of the thing, grabbed the witch, and pulled her in, and that was that was an invite.
They came to us.
Because we seemed cool by
I
leaving.
think you remember this very differently to the way I remember it.
We could put one of the vampires on fire and leave that on the doorstep.
Don't we have someone in the bag?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We could just
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
pull them out and
Did we do that?
I think it should stay in the bag. Tim, can Phantom, as a shadow puppy of
Mhm.
Roman, can they walk through doors as the shadow?
You know that the puppy can teleport.
Do you think everyone? I want to send him in.
You might
he's
not
got
get him
one.
back,
He's got
but-
1 health, right?
As long as you're prepared for what that might mean.
Hasn't he disappeared and come back before?
Yes.
Yeah. So then, yeah,
Didn't
send him
your
in.
god bring him back.
Yeah. Can't you do that?
I can't teleport.
No, not teleport. Bring the dog back.
The
The
god
dog
brought him back.
Comes
last
back
time.
like of its own volition.
Oh yeah, then send him in.
Yeah.
So he's an invincible puppy, really.
With 1 health.
Good point.
I send Phantom in.
Okay. Phantom barks excitedly up on its hind legs and puts its front paws on your waist and just pants.
I say, wait,
and
wait.
then
Come back. Make sure you come back.
and then runs around your legs a couple of times and then runs towards one of the windows and just goes into black smoke and
Cool.
disappears.
And then?
And then you wait for about 20 seconds and then there's a and it starts running back to you and kind of skid slides towards your feet and kind of bumps into your shins a little bit and starts running around your feet again.
I can't read his mind, can I?
No.
Great. Glad we had that.
I thought that as soon as he went in, I was like, I won't even know what he's trying to tell me.
Wait, but
God damn it.
can't Pip talk to your
So I can cast Speak with Animals, but does that apply to shadows?
shadows?
You never tried it.
Tim,
Okay.
I can also speak with animals.
You can.
I've never tried to speak
No,
to
you
my-
haven't. No one has.
Okay, I'm gonna cast speak with animals.
Okay. Mark that off on your spell list. You can't speak to animals. And you speak to Phantom for the first time in... what is this?
53.
Yeah, today is 323 days, T-minus 323 days. So
No simple
in
relationship.
about 30 days.
Yeah.
And it goes, it's dark. It's cold, empty. Stick, play, go. Sniff.
Phantom, you sound like
Bird?
Tim. This is crazy.
What's that? And he runs over to Parter where he's thawing the
Don't touch
bird
it.
away and just kind of like goes down on his front paws and starts growling at it and like leaping from side to side.
We should
And
ask
then-
him to describe what the puppy's doing more often.
Yeah.
It's nice to know.
Yeah.
And then he
Phantom,
runs
come
around part to the other side and like starts growling at the frozen bird.
Phantom, come back. So did
Okay.
you say it's dark inside? Did you see anyone?
No.
Did you see anything?
Yes.
What did you see?
Wood.
How much wood?
4.
Forward.
Forward.
Oh, wood again.
Wood.
You know that's Annie's word.
Oh no.
And what have you done?
Oh no. That's why you don't talk to the dogs.
Hey, Alice, cut.
Ellie, can you cast speak with animals?
Yeah. I
So
mean,
Pip, you also cast Speak with Animals?
yeah, okay. And I'm going to send Bando up to the window to see whether he can see in.
As described before, like if you press your face up against the stained glass window, you can't see in, because it's dark on the inside and it's not permeable from sight. So Bando presses up his little monkey face against the window and just hovers there for a second, and then flies backwards. Shrug, gives you a shrug.
Is that for like all the windows, even the higher ones up are still?
Yeah, they're all stained glass and they've all got different patterns and figures in them.
Okay, I'm going to speak to Phantom.
Yep.
It's like, so I heard you found 4 wood.
Yes.
What did the wood look like?
Tall, flat.
Pointy?
No.
Stick?
No, some. Yes.
Chase?
Hmm?
Chase?
Yes. And then he starts like skid sliding around you and then panting.
No, I mean wood, like throw.
And then he runs off.
Could it be more
Because you do
pirates?
throw, you mime the throw and he runs away. And then starts looking in the snow.
I'm like, hey, Phantom, come back.
He comes back
Um,
and jumps up. I
scary?
need to roll.
This is ridiculous.
This wasn't the best plan that we've ever had.
Yeah.
mm,
And he just claws at you. Well, he's like almost as tall as you are, so puts his front paws on your shoulder.
he's almost as tall as I am.
Yeah,
Big puppy.
you're very small.
I thought he was a puppy.
Right.
He is. He gets a lot bigger.
I asked him if it's scary inside.
No, he shakes his head. And then
Um,
saliva
and-
just goes all over your chin.
Empty?
Yes.
Safe?
Yes. Fun.
I trust him with my life.
He runs off and just goes,
Could the 4 tall wood he's talking about be pyres?
Inside
The one we already
the house.
passed? Yeah. Maybe not.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe things got really bad.
Yeah. runs off and teleports again.
think we should go in.
Can Phantom teleport stuff with him?
No, it's a localized thing, just like an intrinsic thing about him.
Should we go through the window or the door?
Door might be cursed. I doubt they cursed windows.
We didn't think about that.
Who would curse windows?
That's what I'm saying.
Thanks.
Let's throw stones through the window and then climb through it.
Only for a glass house.
They were stained glass.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you're going to throw a rock through the one that Bando went through?
A big rock.
Okay.
A boulder.
You find like substantial rocks in amongst the debris from the cliff face, and you hurl them at the right side window, and it smashes. And parts of like the lead paned stained glass window that fall apart, leaving roughly about a 3-foot hole.
Does anything happen inside the house?
You hear a bark, and then a thump, and then Shadow appears next to Mike, and he's got one of the boulders in his mouth. He drops it at Mike's foot.
Phantom Tim.
Throw.
Can I?
I chase. Go. Now, go. You throw it. I'll chase it.
Can I?
And then he picks up again in his mouth.
Tim. His name's Phantom.
Only throw, no take.
Hey Phantom, can you pick up one of the forward?
And he drops the ball, which is stone, and teleports away. Chad, you saying?
Yeah, can I just make the hole a little bit bigger so it's not just
with your arm
broken
blades,
glass?
just carve.
Yeah. I want to make it big enough for us to get through.
Yep. And as you do that, you see Phantom appear in the room, and then his jaws lock around a stool and starts dragging the stool towards the window.
Chair.
Thanks, Phantom.
Great.
Yeah. And he kind of like backs up, his butt backs up onto where the window is. There's one of those window seats. And he just backs up onto there, so you just get his butt in your face as you're cleaning out.
It's like the dog on my lap.
Yeah,
right
pretty much. And he's growling and like trying to pull the chair up out of the window.
Well, no, we're going in. Phantom.
Yeah, there's just a butt there now.
It's a phantom butt, though. I can wisp it away.
Well, no, because if you do that, you just slap his butt.
Oh, I'll do that.
Or you're just like playing arm wrestling with his tail as it's wagging back and forth.
Well, I want to get in, and I don't want a butt in my face anymore.
He can't understand you. You can't understand him.
Can somebody please tell him?
Phantom, you can move out the way, thank you. We're coming in.
Right.
So polite.
He drags the stool off to one side and just starts gnawing on it and growling at you, Chad.
What?
This is the most we've ever had Phantom in a storyline, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been around.
Can I, now that Phantom's busy chewing a stool, can I send Bando in to
Bando can fly in.
scout around
Yep.
and hopefully provide some more useful feedback?
So this looks like I suppose Bando wouldn't know what things look like. He can report back specifics, but not interpretations. So he knows that there are 3 chairs and a table in here. There is a fireplace. There's that window seat in there. There's a lot of fabric in here, paintings. It's very dark. There are sconces on the wall for light, but they're not lit.
Does it look pretty dusty?
Yeah.
Should we light the sconces?
Who's going in? Bando's in. Phantom's in.
I'll go in, but again, I'm really careful to not touch anything at all.
You're probably going to have to touch at least the floor, if not the window seat as you kind of tuck and roll in.
You can get on the floating disc.
Yeah, if you want to spend 10 minutes to do a ritual, cast the floating disc.
I might just... Oh, I only have it as a ritual.
Oh no, you can cast it as a normal thing as well.
Can I? Because it says as ritual.
Yeah, but you can also cast it as a spell.
But it has to follow me around, but I can fly. So I could fly around the house and we could... Avoid touching anything.
Like
That-
butting up against like not candelabra, chandeliers.
yeah. I mean, I
Getting
don't
caught up
like
in
we. I feel like we have to go explore this place, right?
Was it Parter who had the spell to see whether it was disease?
I
No,
have
that
a
was
was
disease
Aya.
one.
Do you
He
want
has
to
a
do
magic one.
it again?
Yeah.
Just like see if the floor is.
Okay, mark off another second level.
First level.
First level, sorry. And as you poke your head in air into the room, you cast Detect Disease, and there is no disease.
Perfect.
Maybe that's why they didn't let the little frozen bird
Mm.
in.
Cool. None of us are
So should
diseased.
Correct.
Should we all just go climb in then?
Yeah.
Just barrel through the broken window.
Okay. So you all do various athletic or acrobatics ways of getting in through the window. Some of you tumble, some of you dive, some of you awkwardly make your way in because you're covered in armor.
Parkour.
Parkour.
Kind of
And you
looking
seem to be in
forward
some
now.
kind of waiting room.
Yep.
I'm gonna shout out to the house. Hello, the friendly boys are here, and we'd like to talk to you about a new product that we're launching soon. Called Dream Pies.
Also, somebody broke your window. Wasn't us.
Yeah. Hope
It's
you
a
know
good
about that.
thing. We also sell windows on a side business. We can sell you a new window.
You know what they say about the friendly boys? Dream pies and windows.
You didn't tell us about the dream pies.
So you let your voice ring out. A couple of seconds pass, and then a voice echoes back from the other side of the door, somewhere
Wow.
further into the house, and it says, "Blur, get out unless you want to be drained like a wineskin or a raisin. No, a wineskin. A wineskin makes more sense. Blur."
You know what goes great with wine?
Windows.
Mm. The other one.
Windows.
Does he reply to my joke about wine going great with pie?
No.
Hmm. Hello, are you still there? We're still selling you our products.
Blur, you will die in here. You will be cursed and have to suffer the darkness in here. Blur.
Blur, what if you just don't curse us?
You have stumbled upon the house of the undead. Blur.
Can I go kick the door?
Roll an athletics check for me, please.
Do I have to do that now with disadvantage?
Yes,
the
all
time?
abilities check will be
Every
with
single
advantage. Everything.
Uh,
Everything
This
forever.
Stupid axe. Forever.
Yep.
What was it?
Wait.
Athletics?
Yeah.
Well, I still got a 14.
14. So you slam your foot into the door. The door, again, there's nothing other than the furnishings that are wood. Everything else here is carved into stone. You kick the door. The door doesn't go in, but shudders, does that thing that when you slam a door close really hard, it shudders and opens inwards.
What if I have advantage on athletics?
Then it evens out to just one roll.
So can I not take that first roll and have rolled an 18?
Did you have
I had a
advantage on the
10.
first roll?
Well, no, because I had disadvantage, but I have an advantage on athletics, so I rolled
Oh,
twice.
do you? Oh, yeah. Then you
Yeah.
take the first one.
So it would have been 18.
18, yeah. Then you put your foot through the stone. And as you
Cool.
try and pull your foot out of the stone, the door opens inwards.
Nope. But
Well
there's
done.
nobody on the other side of it?
No, there's nobody immediately on the other side of it. What it
Can
does
I-
reveal is a long corridor which connects to the front door and to a staircase and several other doors.
Can I very loudly go, blah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Go for it.
You absolutely can, yeah.
Yeah, I do that. Does he respond at all?
He doesn't respond at this point.
Okay, well, he's down this way. Let's go find him.
not remotely intimidated by his.
No,
we've
he's,
been hurt before.
yeah.
We've had
He
worse.
sounded like he was on his back foot.
Yeah. I go, Blur, we'll curse you if you don't reply. Blur.
Blur, the children of the night will eat you alive and take your souls back down to hell. Blur.
Blur, how do we stop them from doing that? Blur.
Get out of my house, Blur.
Who are the children of the night?
They are my minions. Blah.
Where are they?
They are all around you.
I
Blah.
can't see any of them.
Oh, we detected
It's-
poison, but not magic.
Figurative.
We don't have
Blah.
When you
What
said
if we
your
just wanna
house,
be friends?
Blah. I cannot
That's what I
understand
was
when you're all
thinking as
talking
well,
at once.
Peter.
Blah.
What if we just want to be friends?
Mortals cannot be friends with the undead. Blah.
What
You've
if we
got
are
undead
mortals?
Why not?
yeah, we've got loads of undead friends.
We, the children of the night, the undead cursed ones, feed on the living, such as yourselves. Blah.
You said your house. Who are you?
I am the count of the house. And then a laugh echoes around the house.
We didn't get it. The joke.
This guy sounds like a chump.
I like him.
My name is Count Daviron von Smersvich.
Can I do divine sense? Because it says that I can know the location of any celestial fiend undead within
Yeah.
60 feet.
You can. That just happens, doesn't it?
Yes.
So, and what's the distance?
60 feet.
60 feet. So you probably can detect 8, 15, 16, 24. About 30 undead
Okay, there's a lot
within
of...
60 feet.
He isn't bluffing. He
How
has...
come they
he,
How come they haven't done anything yet?
I don't know. He does appear to have about 30 undead children of the night ready to eat those.
Can I ask him if he's lonely?
Blah. Me and my bride of eternity are more than happy here.
You have a bride?
Mm-hmm.
Would she like a wedding gift?
We have been married for ages past.
Would she like a
Before,
belated
way
wedding
before
gift?
any of you were born. Blah.
An anniversary gift.
Yeah, we brought you an anniversary gift.
Blah. What is it? And then he says,
Dream
ow!
bug.
I mean, no, your mortal gifts mean nothing to me. They are mere trinkets in the
They're-
night.
They're
Blah.
immortal.
Weird.
They're immortal gifts.
And then there's very faint whispering. Leave it at the bottom of the stairs. Blah.
It's bad luck to not give it to you in person.
I will trade your lives for this gift.
Can
Is
you
it
trade us
is
something
it cheese?
nice?
Blah.
Is he at the top of the stairs?
You don't know, but it's kind of echoing all around you.
How
He
is-
said leave it at the bottom of the stairs.
You did, yeah.
How is he going to trade our present for our lives? We're giving him... That doesn't make any sense. I'm going up the stairs. This is bullshit.
No, don't come up the stairs. Blah.
Oh,
It is
what is
What is
dangerous.
happening? This
Yeah.
is like a Wizard of Oz scenario.
100%.
Could you
Upstairs.
trade us like some nice things for our gift?
I would have thought immortals a prize more than anything. And then kind of the voice is receding as you're going up the stairs. More than anything in your life. Blah.
Where are you going?
Retreating into my chamber
Honest-
to regenerate my blood. Blah.
Okay, we'll meet you there.
No, blah.
Run. We run after him.
You get to the top of the stairs and there's a landing. It's about the same size as the floor below you. So there are the same amount of doors down here as there are on the landing, which is about half a dozen. But they're all closed at this point. However, when you were like halfway up the stairs, you did hear a grinding and then a thunk, as if a door had been opened and closed.
We can't tell which door?
Roll an investigation check.
Maybe I will.
Back.
10 total.
Sorry, my Zoom had frozen.
Oh,
Sorry.
investigation. Investigation? Investigation? Can you not hear?
I got a 6.
I don't think Annie can hear us.
I have
Yay.
11 plus
Shit,
2,
we can see.
13.
Half of you are frozen.
Which half?
You're doing good.
Yeah, we can see all of this.
Yeah, you're fine. If you
Tim
can
was at
hear.
this stages.
Oh,
But he's fine now. Everybody's fine.
Can you hear me now, Adam?
Gary, back in the room. What am I doing?
Investigation for me, please.
There you go.
So, Chad, you got 10. Pip, what do you get in total?
6.
6. Aya?
13.
Investigation? 13. Annie, investigation total?
And
10. So no, you look around, you can't tell which door had been open and closed.
Can I
How-
shout Marco?
Bleh.
There's no blip, blullo. Oh, blip.
Bleh.
You don't get any response.
How many doors are there?
Half a dozen, so 6.
All right, so everybody takes 2 doors and don't open one full of zombies, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
who's taking the
Roll it.
first 2, middle 2, last 2?
Oh wait,
I'll
there's
take
4
the
of
first
us.
2.
Yes. I was like, all right, okay.
Yeah, I don't even.
Everybody
I don't think
take first.
Kenko's not figured out doors on his own. I don't think.
Oh yeah,
You took
Shadow
out the
can,
ring.
or Phantom, not Shadow. Phantom,
I mean,
Kenko,
yeah, between
Bando.
like you and your mounts and your familiars, you could feasibly
take a door.
open all 6 doors
Do you think it's a bad idea to open all 6 doors at the same time?
simultaneously.
We should Scooby Doo it instead and do one at a time.
And just run in between all the doors, back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah, let's do that.
who? Khalil, I know that you've got minor illusion, right?
I've got a couple illusionary ones. Yeah, what's up?
We
What do you
could
want?
literally, like, as we, if we ran down the corridor, you throw open a door, throw a minor illusion in there just in case there's a trap. Move on to the next one.
Well, good morning,
I
I'm
can-
an
I can-
illusion in
I
every
can
door.
I can do minor illusions at will, so we can open up every door and put something to bait or like go for the trap.
Just FYI, you can do that. Totally fine. However, every time you cast minor illusion, it would cancel the prior minor illusion.
Yeah, that's okay. We
Yeah.
will go room by room.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can do 2 at a time.
yeah. So,
Yeah. Totally.
oh, you've got minor illusion too. All right, so 2 of us team up and we'll just take each door 1-on-1.
So start from like opposite ends, I guess.
Yep.
So where it is lined up. There's a wall of 5 doors, and then right at the end of the landing, there's a 6th door opposite the 5th door. If that makes sense.
Yes.
So think of a corridor that's got 5 doors on the left-hand side, and then 1 door on the right-hand side.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wonder
because the
what's in the
staircase
right-hand
is kind
door.
of like occupying most of the other like left-hand side of the wall.
Okay. So should we start at opposite ends and then end on the one on the right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Cool.
Cool. So you'd end like together on door 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Cool. Who's starting on 4, 5, 6? Well, 6, 5, 4, and who's starting on 1, 2, 3?
I'll
6,
start on
5.
6. I'll
Okay.
find you.
Oh.
I
Who
should
wants
have
to
known
do
you would have gone for that.
6 down to 4.
Mike's doing 6 down to 4. I'm
Okay.
doing 1 to 3.
Cool. You throw open the door. So what is Pip and Aya doing whilst Mike and
I think we
Chad
should
are throwing doors open?
each stand with one of them.
Yeah, pair
Yeah.
up.
You're just going to run with them.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah, I'll go with Chad.
Okay. So Aya with Mike. Cool.
we make the illusion look like Potter.
That's exactly what I was going
Yeah.
to suggest.
Although Parter is about
So
7 foot
excited
tall,
about
and minor illusion is 5 foot cube, so you'd have
That's
to be
Mini power.
like doing like a Zeus type pose with his on one knee with his hand on his knee, and
That's
I
fine.
would be threatened if
Fist in
that
his
suddenly
chest.
turned up in my room. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have him sitting in that very uncomfortable description you described earlier
oh yeah.
with legs on top of each other.
Imagine
What I
doing
like to
that
call
a
is the Dalseem pose.
Yes, that's the
Oh.
one.
I want him to be doubled over like he's puking and crying.
Okay, yeah, yours can be
That's good.
double over puking and crying.
Your own character.
They're silent, these minor illusions, but he is silently weeping and puking, and yours is
Before-
just serene and leg folded.
Before we open up our first door,
Yeah.
I have so many weapons that I keep forgetting to use, and I want to make sure that we're well prepared for whatever's on the other side. So I'm going to give Pip the goat gun.
I feel honoured.
So
Well,
with
you're the
goat-
ranger. That makes sense.
So 2 things with the goat gun. Number 1, you have to attune to it. So it takes you an hour to attune to it.
Yeah,
can
it's more
still-
about intimidation right now.
You can still use it, but you'll be using it at disadvantage. And the other thing is that it has a strength requirement, which Pip does not meet.
Oh, really? Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, if you look at the description of it, you need a
I think
minimum
that's why
strength.
she gave it you back in the first place.
Is that why?
'Cause it's made of
Probably should've paid
like
attention.
solid metal, and it's massive. So people of
Alright.
a certain strength can't even wield it.
Well, never mind then. Pip,
I mean, you can
We-
give Pip one of your other like myriad of magical weapons that you have.
I mean, it's
you can't have the axe.
No.
You could have Thunderstruck, but I feel like that's the size of you. And that doesn't make sense for a ranger. If you want it, you can have it, but I want to make sure that we have some ample backup in case anything goes
Pip
wrong.
can use Thunderstruck.
Can he? Or can?
She? Yeah. Pip can.
Can.
Yeah, Pip can wield it.
Do you want Thunderstruck?
Do you mind giving me Thunderstruck?
Yeah. Pip now has Thunderstruck.
Cool.
What is Thunderstruck?
You don't need to attune to it, so you can just wield it straight away. So I'm going to take that off of your character,
It's fine.
remove, and Pip, I'm going to put it onto yours very shortly.
Amazing.
And then we're going to
That's
kick in the
I don't
first
have
door.
any-
What do you say, sorry?
And then we're going to kick in our first door.
Thunderstruck. Add. Wielding. If you refresh your character sheet now, Ellie, you should see Thunderstruck on there.
Have Thunderstruck.
I have a bunch of weapons.
Because it uses strength, you're not going to be as versatile to hit it as like your longbow, your sling, your daggers, but you can still use it.
Cool.
And if you click on it, it'll tell you what it does.
Kick the door open.
Right. So in tandem, kick door 1, 6, 2, 4, 5, and then 3 and 4 at the same time. So Mike was on 6 through 4, right? And who was with Mike? Who was with Aya?
Mhm.
Yeah, Mike and Aya. You kick in door number 4. All the other doors, because you're running between them, so you're not really pausing to look inside, but you do end up at doors 3 and 4. Door 4 with Mike and Aya. You kick it open, and there is a scene inside. I'm going to let people react. You do see creatures inside this door.
What kind of creatures?
What are they doing?
So if you don't want to ascertain what it is, I want Aya and Mike to roll a perception check for me, please.
Sure. Right, good.
So Aya, what do you get in total?
I don't have it's +0, so
All
8.
right, 8. Yep. And Mike, what did Mike get? 12.
that
Okay, good. Right. So you both get similar. Oh, there's Parter.
Don't tell him.
that genuinely startled me. Like I hadn't seen him in so long. I thought somebody was sticking their head outside of my computer. I was like,
So Parter, you've been outside.
Just looking after that dead body.
Yeah, you've
Yep.
kind of thawed it using your cantrips and digging the snow around. You can establish at this point. You haven't touched it. You've made sure that you haven't touched it. You've excavated the body relatively successfully. As you've been doing that, you have noticed that everybody else has been sending Phantom in and out of the door. So Mike's shadow puppy.
Yep.
And it's been like teleporting in, teleporting out. At one point it had a rocket in its mouth. And it's been like really excitedly dancing around both you and growling at the thing that you're trying to excavate and dancing around Pip and Mike. And then it's teleported back in the room. And then someone just hucked a boulder into the window and shattered it. Chad went up and started clearing some of the glass out. And then Phantom tried to pull a chair out of the window, but they ushered it back inside and everybody started climbing in. You hadn't quite finished what you're doing, so you're like still trying to get a bunch of like snow out of the way. And as you do, you see just this hunched up Aarakocran blue jay that looks very similar to D. You can ascertain that it might be her son.
Likely her son. Okay.
You don't know how long. Well, actually, roll a medicine check for me, please.
Oh, natural 20.
Yeah.
Plus 9, 29.
He's been dead for 5 days and died of exposure before the disease got hold. And you also know that you can see that on his knuckles, it's been like cut and worn away on his knuckles, as though he's been beating something quite hard. Looking back at the mansion, you think maybe he's just been beating his fists against the door, but hasn't gained entry, and then collapsed in the snowdrift and died.
Oh. I'm just trying to look through if I've got a spell. I'm assuming if he's been dead for 5 days, unless I've got some specific spell, I wouldn't be able to bring him back.
Yeah, if you've got something like reincarnate or resurrection, but normal healing wouldn't.
No,
He's been dead for too long at this point.
no, I don't. No.
Yeah, so he's beyond your particular skill set at the moment.
Okay.
It's been a good 10 minutes that it's taken you to dig around, carefully dig around, because you don't want to touch him.
Yeah. Is there anything else that I can ascertain? Is there anything that he's got on him that? Oh, how long? Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. Was there anything magical between moving from that house to there when we spotted him?
Yeah, you know the front doors are magically sealed.
Okay.
And one of the gargoyles, I don't know if you were here when I mentioned, there's about a dozen gargoyles spotted around the front of this mansion, about 20. One of them has got divination magic on them. So you think this is some kind of magical CCTV?
Okay.
Did we learn that?
No,
Okay.
Carter did, but
okay. Are the others in already now?
Yeah.
Have they climbed in?
The first 5 minutes, you heard you heard them talking. You didn't hear anything talking to them, but they were shouting out things. They were offering to sell windows, offering to sell pies, and then they were offering an anniversary gift. And then you heard a big crack, as if something was hitting stone and the stone breaking. And then silence after that.
And I can't hear my friend.
No, it's been 10 minutes now, and you can't hear your friends.
Oh dear. I can't leave my friend. He's already dead. I can't do anything. And I saw how they got into the building, right?
Yeah, this is a broken window.
Okay. I'm just gonna blindly look for them, climbing through the window.
You climb into the window. You're in what looks to be a holding, like a meeting room. Not like a meeting room, but like a guest, where people, visitors would come in, sit down and wait to be greeted by the master of the house. It's a very ornate mansion. So they've got specific waiting rooms for people. They've been ushered in by the butler. You'd get sat down, maybe offered a drink, and then you'd wait for someone to come and collect you. That's what this room is. The door itself is open currently, but it's got a big hole in it, a big Chad foot sized hole in the door.
I wonder who could have done that.
Nice.
You run in, and then you hear from up the staircase the sounding of a lot of stone scraping on stone, and footsteps.
This is
And also,
terrifying.
good morning, I'm an illusion.
Yeah, you hear that as well.
I'm an illusion. Is our sex?
You hear that 6 times.
Oh. I'm going to use locate creature.
I used that a minute ago before we started knocking doors down.
Yeah. I want to find Pip.
Okay. When you cast locate creature, Pip is directly above you. You're standing in the hallway, and so
Is that where? That's where I can hear the stone noise.
Correct.
Okay. Have I got a telepathy thing? I'm a
This
bit
is
scared
so
about going
funny.
upstairs. Pep.
I hear him.
You probably hear him after what's just happened, so we'll go back.
I'm going to pull out my pan pipes.
Okay.
Because I want to. This will tell me whether she's around or not, and I'm going to start
Oh,
playing
Okay.
a merry little tune.
Yep.
To bring her down the stairs,
that.
so I know if she's.
Fine.
You could
Okay.
just wait for me to reply.
Cool. Pip.
But I'm playing it really, just enough for her to hear, but just, yeah. I'm scared of things in the house.
So, with Aya and Mike's role, I'm going to read to you what you see. This room is a room of death and horrors of old. 5 ungodly creatures occupied this room and all turned to you and your friends, baring teeth and claws, hissing at your presence and staring into your very soul. If you're not a stout adventurer, your mind would surely turn to mush and your legs to jelly at this very sight.
So I'm going to tell you what you see. This room is a room of death.
Pip, can you roll a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Yeah.
Okay. You get to door 3. You start. You look over to Mike and Aya, and Mike and Aya's eyes grow wide. And before you can say or do anything, your eyes go wide, and they start spinning. And you turn around on your heel and start marching downstairs, not of your own volition. Party, you see Pip, like hypnotized, walking down the stairs.
Oh, you are alive! I thought that was bad people.
Yeah.
Well,
Pip can't. No, you are like under his thrall currently.
I hate you.
And because of the lack of response, I'll just do one more little, just do a little dance, and then I'll put it away. And I just want to talk to her. Yeah. Where are you, lot? I thought you were upstairs. It was bad, like the time I got eaten by the house.
So Pip, all that you've seen at this point, the only things you've seen are 3 empty rooms, and then you got hypnotized and brought downstairs.
Can I reply now? Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's cancelled the spell.
I'm like, Potter, everything's fine. We're making a friend. He's got a bride. We're going to give him an anniversary present. We don't know where he is. We're just looking for him. Come on up.
That doesn't sound right.
No. That's all that's happened. Promise.
All right.
Come and open some doors with us. It's fun.
Okay. All right. If you're sure.
Yeah.
So you go upstairs with Pip? Yep. Chad. As you open door number 3, you're like, and you've cast Parter as a minor illusion, sitting cross-legged as he was wont to do, and it's just a dark room, nobody inside. And you've got your arm blades up, and then you lower them, and you look over to where Mike and Aya are standing, and both of them are just wide-eyed, looking into the room next to you.
I'm gonna close the door. All of the doors that I've opened.
Yep. So you've thrown them open, casting illusion, closing them on the way out.
Yeah. So sure. I wanna close the last door.
Clunk. Done.
And can I, are Mike and Aya respondent, or are they sort of like?
This is all happening simultaneous.
Okay,
So probably
right.
the same time that they're seeing the thing I described is the same time that you're looking at them.
What did you find?
Because we're not necessarily initiative, but I'm going to treat it like every 6 seconds something is going to happen.
Okay.
So you say, what do you find? Pip and Parter, you're walking up the stairs as this is happening. Mike and Aya, as you're looking into the room, these 5 creatures start walking towards you, brandishing their own variation of their own weapons. 3 of them are grey-skinned. One of them's just a floating, incorporeal upper torso, wrapped in black shadow with a big crown on its head, all in monochromatics. And one of them's covered in spiked armor, brandishing a particularly wicked-looking blade with long white hair, completely pale face.
Do they correlate with the fiends and undead that I
Oh yeah, you
Location.
specifically would know that all of these are undead.
okay.
And they start walking towards the door. And then Chad asks his question.
Are
A
we
death
in
room.
or anything?
Not yet. Probably next time we go around things, we'll start rolling initiative.
Probably when they move a second closer to us.
Yeah, probably.
Are you guys in the door, or are you still on the doorway side?
I'm
With,
assuming
like,
that it's still on the landing.
Black Dog staring into the room in awe of the death room that's been described to us.
Did the door open inwards or outwards?
Inwards. So
You
you're gonna
could
have to
close the door.
you're gonna have to reach into the room to grab the handle and pull it closed.
We just start
Can I-
tapping.
I've got a big hand.
You do, although they haven't told you what's happening yet,
Yeah.
and you haven't looked in.
I did ask what do you
You
see?
did. So it's up to them to tell you.
Death room.
Death room.
Death
Uh,
room. Aya says matter of factly.
Well,
A death room.
I have just the solution.
Closing the door.
Closing the door.
Also, Parter and Pip, you hear Aya stating matter of factly, death room.
I just turn around, start walking down.
We can't hear
I'm
you.
like,
Pip.
Steve Parker, nothing wrong, just, death room.
Definitely said death room. I don't like that one bit.
Fine.
Oh, people have to attune to it. Never mind. It might still come in handy. Like, we have strong weapons, and I'm like
You have.
bound by blood to this one of them. So, like, can I toss the goat gun? Who else is strong enough to wield it?
I think you need
Aya.
Aya.
Aya definitely is. Obviously, you are. Mike is not. Parter is. Pip isn't.
Give it to Parter because he has less weapons.
Well,
He is, but
I was going to say it kind of fits your character better.
I think.
A
Well,
goat gun doesn't
You
fit
have
any
so
of our
many
characters.
weapons.
I'll have a cool sword if you want.
I already
You already
gave
given
Pip
the
the
sword away.
thunderstruck.
Oh.
That's so backwardsly noble.
When did you take it?
Weirdly
I've got
enough.
magic. I got moonbeam.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I was gonna toss it to Aya, and I'm still
Fine,
going.
I'll take it. I don't have much range.
I'm still
so
gonna
I'll
toss
take
it to Aya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aya, you can still use it. You'd have disadvantage because you're not attuned to it. It'll take an
Probably
hour
not
to
this
attune.
turn, but maybe next turn.
And
Shut the door for an hour.
So you just shed the goat gun to what you just throw it at Aya.
I just want to like toss it at her.
What else do you do?
Cast a hand.
So you need line of sight on the door to cast a hand.
We could just try and kill these little critters.
I
say
think
little.
they're.
We have no
I
idea
think
how strong they are.
They're probably a little bit
Nice.
meaner than little critters.
Well,
This-
Aya, if you're wondering how powerful they are, why didn't you and Mike do a religion check?
Or you could just.
Even if I can't close the door, I can block the door with the big hand.
I don't think I'm going to be helpful.
Oh,
Cool,
God.
but
Just chuck
Mike,
Kenko
maybe.
in there and see how
Yeah, see
quickly
what
they
happens.
grow.
religion's
Don't
plus
let
one.
my
So
bird be torn
16.
apart for the sake of experiment.
So Mike, you recognise all of these creatures.
I recognise these creatures.
You do. You know that
Nailed
three
it.
of them, the grey-skinned creatures, are things called ghouls. The pale-skinned creature with the white hair and the spiked armor is a white. And then the incorporeal smoke-like creature with the crown is called a wraith. And they're all of them are much more powerful than a zombie, for instance,
Okay.
which is the only
Yeah.
other under creature that you've come across.
There
They
you
are
go.
more powerful than zombies.
Yes.
Okay, they'll
And you
start
think
shut the
that a
door.
wraith is more powerful than a white, and a white is more powerful than a ghoul.
Out of character,
Hmm.
who was it that that dial-up said had come to the town?
That was
It's a
like
group
five.
of.
Oh,
Yeah.
Group
yeah.
of
There's 5 of them.
adventurers. Group of 5 adventurers. Group of 5 adventurers were called. I think I gave you their names. The Steel Brawler Sirens, and there are 5 of them.
It's a good shout.
It's a bit of a coincidence, otherwise, isn't it?
A bit random. And it just
I
seemed
still
like
think
this
we
is the
should shut
source
the
of.
door.
What was that? Ellie?
Oh, I just still think we should shut the door and pretend we didn't see it.
What? What if they are the blur?
I don't think they're blur.
I like how Josh doesn't know what blur is.
I'm sorry.
Is this your friend that you
Yeah.
were chatting to?
So,
Right.
Chad, you throw the goat gun to Aya. Aya, you catch it. Do you still want to close the door with Pippi's hand?
I would like to, but you said that I have to be in line of sight. So if I'm not in
You
the line
do.
of sight,
You'd have to
then
you're right next to the door. You can just move over. It's not a problem.
if I can, then
Yeah.
yeah.
Roll a perception check for me, please.
Oops. Wrong.
And then mark off
window.
the Bigby's hand as well.
Perception. I got a 15.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
You get something extra.
Ooh.
As you look in the room, as you're about to cast Bigby's hand, inside the room, you see a plate of half-digested entrails covered in blood tucked away to one side of the room,
Ooh.
with the three grey-skinned creatures half wrapped in old rags, staring at you with lidless, glowing green eyes and the same red blood around their mouths. You see the pale creature with long white hair has dark black eyes and skeletal features. He stands up from the chair. He's covered in vicious-looking armor that has spikes protruding from every plate. It quickly hides what looks like to be surgical needles behind its back. But what it can't hide is a crisscross of red muscle sinew that is caught between all of the spikes on its armor. In the opposite corner of the room is a spectral creature made of smoke. Only the top half of its body is discernible, and is wearing a grey wispy crown and stares at you with unholy glowing golden eyes. Its face is that of a death mask, not flesh and only bone, and bears its monochromatic teeth at you, as its smoke-like clawed hands cut through the air with discernible ripping noise. It hovers above half of a body, clothes torn to shred, and the head missing.
Does any of that mean anything to anybody? Was there any bits and pieces that was like, oh, I know that? Because that all went over my head if there was somebody that we knew.
I think
That is one of
know
those
that.
things.
that they're eating someone.
Yeah, I think we should ultimately can't let whatever that is live. But
Oh no. But can I still close the door?
if we want a little bit to like talk about what you just saw, so you can tell.
And
us
just plan an attack.
and we also got another door as well.
It felt like it was a hell.
All of the doors are open.
All the
Oh,
doors-
okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this must be Blur.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nowhere else for him to be.
Should I still
Okay.
close the door?
Close the door, and then we can try and speak to Blur again and say, "Are you, by any chance, eating a human right now?"
Just ask him if he's decent once you close the door.
Now that we're out of immediate danger,
Yeah.
we can talk.
For as long as it takes another creature to open a door.
But we don't know that they can't open the door.
That's
But
the
also,
future is to worry about anyway.
yeah, that's true. Can't my hands prevent them from doing
It
it?
is very strong. If you leave your hand like holding the doorknob,
Yeah, it would be a clenched fist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna just I'll keep the door closed with my big giant fist.
cool. You pull it closed. What do you all like now? Pastor and Pip, you're on the landing, so you're all together now.
Did you just see that?
No, the
But what's
whole
going
the
on
room just slammed closed, and the big spectral hand is like holding it closed.
Oh no, I'm asking them.
Yeah, no, they don't see it. That's all they see is the big hand closing the door.
Me and you
There's
saw it.
They
and
don't
Ted.
see inside.
What was it?
some ghouls and some smoke, and some spikes and some muscles and some entrails.
Some weird
Different.
shit.
I don't like it.
Um,
This
hey,
doesn't sound right.
hey Blur, do you look like you're eating a tasty snack right now?
Blur, you all like tasty snacks to me. Blur.
Are
I
you?
see you have met my children. Blur.
That's your children. They look lovely.
There was 30 of them.
Hmm.
We only met 5.
Yes, you did. Blur.
How can we meet you?
To meet me would be staring into madness. Your minds would break, and your flesh would be mine. Blur.
Can we meet a nicer, friendlier version of you?
No. Blur.
But don't you
Really
want
good-
your present?
Leave your gift, and I will call my children of the night off. A blow.
If we leave our gift, you'll call them off.
Yes, blow.
Oh, well, that sounds like a fair trade.
Ted makes a good point. Like, we've been in every room of the house and we've only found like a fifth of the children.
Correct.
There's still 25 more.
We've not been around the rest of the village, have we?
No. This was just in the house.
Within
60
60
feet.
feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We don't know how deep it goes into the rock, I guess.
Hey, Blur, where are the rest of your children? We'd like to meet them as well.
Blur. Should you meet them, you'd be torn from flesh to bone, and they would eat you alive. Blur.
I don't
Look.
buy this.
If we'd left the door open, what would have happened?
I assume we would have gone into initiative and had to fight them all.
My children cannot be held back. They are hungry. Blur.
What were they eating?
Blur.
Gross.
Blur. They were eating remains. Blur. And that pause is intentional.
If we leave the gift here for you, will you, if you like it, you be our friend?
I will let you live.
I don't want
It is against my nature, but it is the best I can offer. Blur.
Could we meet
But if you don't leave in the next minute or so, I will have to
Why are you trying to get
succumb
rid
to
of
my
us?
unnatural nature. Blur.
Why are you
Um,
holding yourself back if that's your nature anyway?
For this gift. This immortal gift you have. Blur.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Okay, we haven't actually used the axe yet, so it might be super powerful, but we need somebody to willingly take this shit off of our hands for them to then be cursed. We definitely should have talked to it more and asked it more questions. It's super powerful, so he might end up taking over the whole world. But
Yeah.
this guy wants something and we could pawn it off. But maybe there's somebody else we could pawn it off of. I'm just saying.
But like, we could also just leave the house if we just want to get away. We didn't have to come in here in the first
I
place.
want to meet
But-
him.
But if we just leave, then we're definitely just abandoning this entire storyline, right?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But leaving the axe and then leaving the house is the same, right?
No, because we can leave the axe and see if he likes it, and then we can try and chat to him a bit more.
But then he'd be super powerful.
Yeah, even more powerful.
With the axe.
And maybe I'd still be stuck as old and smelly.
Kind of-
I have in my possession a claw from a black dragon you found already dead. So
That
I'm
might
gonna,
make
Thought you
him-
meant thought you were just bragging.
yeah, no other information. Just have it. Are you jealous? I'm gonna leave that and say, okay, well, I've left your present here, but you've got to come and get it.
I feel like we need a better plan. I'm sorry.
Do we
I'm
actually
sorry.
know? Do we actually know what he wants as a gift?
Well, he didn't want anything specifically. He was promised an immortal gift as an anniversary present. Him and his
For his-
bride.
Right.
He didn't ask for anything. He
What
was
have
just
you
going to
done?
like, out and out
What's
threatening to eat you.
his name again?
Blur.
Oh, his
We don't
name
know.
is Count Davian from Smurfage.
Smurf.
He's a Smurf.
Village.
Smurfage.
Smurf village.
Is it Papa Smurf?
No, it's Davian from Smurfage.
Count Papa Smurf.
Damn it.
Count Papa Smurf.
didn't
While
sound
we dig around our bags to find you the best immortal gift out of our many immortal gifts, just want to praise you on what a beautiful home you have for you and your kids. Speaking of your kids, the 5 that we just met, wonderful. You should be proud. Can you tell me their names? I'm trying to distract him.
Well, what are we supposed to do?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm trying to butter him up. Butter him up.
Butter him up.
Like always, we came without a plan.
What are these? What are your kids? What are their names?
Blur. Why do you need to know their names? Blur.
I think they're cool.
Tim's not thought of the names.
No, I've got them down, but he was like, why would he?
That's the name of the entire Smurf village.
I'd like to know the names. They're really cool, and I miss my siblings. I haven't seen them in a while.
Blur, if I tell you their names, will you leave the premises? Blur.
I will think about it.
No deal. Blur.
Well, I'm still looking for a good immortal gift in this bag.
I've got my Paolo gnome.
You get a ship that changes sizes.
That's true.
We can't.
Yeah.
We don't want to give
I
him
think-
stuff that we're going to keep.
I think at this point we need to roll a strength off Khalil and I. So Big B's hand. What is your strength saving throw?
Oh shit.
I need to roll one for me as well. I get 20. Yeah, there we go. So, as you're trying to negotiate with
Great.
Count from Davian from Smirovich, the door just gets yanked open out of the grip of your hand.
Ah!
Everybody can see inside now. At this point, Parta and Pip, can you roll a perception check for me, please?
Yes. Oh. 6. Natural 1.
Rolling
Nice.
so bad.
So 11, yeah. So both of you see very much what the first two saw. This room is full of death and horrors of old. 5 ungodly creatures occupy this room and all turn to you and your friends, bearing teeth and claws, hissing at your presence and staring into your very soul. If you're not a stout adventurer, your mind will surely turn to mush and your legs to jelly at the sight.
Can I just say, whoa, Papa Smurf, we haven't given you your gift yet, so make sure your children don't attack us.
Blur, I told you to get out. You have not.
I was
You
trying.
have not acquiesced to my request.
I was
Your
trying.
soul is forfeit. Blur.
I haven't had a chance to give you our gift yet. My friends were distracting you. I'm sorry.
So all 5 of the creatures that are pouring out of the door start swiping at you, like in front of your faces.
But
They're
without
not
hitting
hitting
you.
us.
Yeah, kind of like fanning you away a little bit.
Oh, what's getting a bit hot? I'm with Khalil now. Sorry, I'm with Chad on this.
Can you all roll an insight check?
Yeah. Wait, all of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus 4.
18.
Fuck's sake.
So
23.
Pip, you get 10. Party, you get
18.
18. Alice, Aya,
3.
3. Mike,
23.
23. So Parter and Mike, everybody else is like, fuck, trying to get out of the way of like these spectral claws and these fangs covered in blood. You don't, like Parter and Mike, you don't think they're trying to hit you. You think they're like getting really close, but really pulling their punches.
Bleh.
They look
Yeah.
like an illusion.
Why aren't...
I mean, it's very difficult to tell. They don't look like a minor illusion that you can cast because they've moved and made sound, but they haven't made physical contact with you. However, you do feel the wind as they're like swiping close to your face. So there is a physicality to them,
They were strong enough to open up the door.
and they did pull the door open.
Okay.
But there are high-level illusions that manifest themselves as physical things. You know that at least.
They could be like 30 tiny little demons
don't-
making themselves look like big, strong
Yeah.
5.
Like
Yeah, we know
Smurfs in a cloak.
We know there's 30 of
With dead
them,
shoulders.
and he's called them children.
He's just killed all the adults, taken the children, dressed them up in scary cloaks, told them to be ghosts. That sounds weird.
The things that you know is there are 30
Almost with you.
creatures, and 30 creatures that are all undead.
Mhm. There's definitely 30 undead things, but I don't know how we see what's really there or like why they're not hitting us. Do you have like
Yeah.
any?
Everybody else
dispel
apart
magic or anything?
from Mike, currently
Yeah.
apart from Mike and Parter, you're the only 2 that know that they're pulling their punches. Everybody else is like, whoa.
Who's in front of me at the moment? Is it just the ghost?
You're all kind of like being backed up simultaneously.
Kind of want to.
There's like there's 1-on-1. There's 5v5.
I don't know if anyone's got anything to dispel illusions or magic or something, or like identify what they might be. Otherwise, we could just actually try and hit them and see what happens. But that might be a bit
Don't kick off.
It should.
suicide. Yeah.
It should be up to Mike and Potter, right?
Doesn't
Is
seem
it
right. Yeah, I'm trying to.
But they're
Trying to-
deliberately not attacking us. They're trying to get us out, but they're not touching us or like harming us.
Yeah, Mike, you know this. That they are. They're definitely like just waving their claws in front of your face, really close to your face, but they're not actively trying to contact you.
That doesn't seem normal for bad people.
Yeah. So I don't want to start an attack.
I'm just
Just-
going to start. Yeah. Maybe just say to them, "You're not bad people, are you? You're
Blah,
not wanting to hurt us."
we are the children of the undead. Night is our domain, and your souls are mine. Get out if you want to live. Blah.
Maybe we
Why
can only
aren't-
attack at night.
Yeah, why aren't you hurting us? If you really want to hurt us, you'd have hurt us.
Blah.
you saying her?
My children nearly missed, but the next time they will reclaim your souls, devour your flesh.
Try it.
Blah. I will.
Right now. Try it.
Blah. Sure. Blah. You will regret this if you want to become a minion under my domain, forever thirsting and never fed.
You talk a lot.
You ask me a lot of questions, Blah.
That's what the disease is, I bet.
What?
But there's
What?
literally no action
Question
going on.
asking.
I'm just going to
Yeah,
turn around. I'm just going to turn around to the rest of them and be like, "He's not hitting me."
Can I cast Blade Ward?
Yeah.
And step forward.
As you cast Blade Ward and step forward, the 5 creatures like step back, as if you have like a restraining order on them. It's like, what? They can only take like within 10 feet of you, I think.
I step forward again.
Yeah, they step back.
Come on, guys.
Like a couple of them go into the room, and like 2 of them go further up on the corridor, and 1 of them goes down the corridor. Because
What?
it's a column,
What?
so you're
I
like
thought-
pushing them out from you.
I thought they're all in that room.
No, they've stepped out now, and they're swiping at you. So you
Scan
were
them.
all in the corridor.
Something does
They
not
pulled the
add
door open, stepped out, swiped at you, trying to get you down the staircase. You've cast Blade Ward, which is like a column around you. Step forward. You've pushed 2 of them into the room, and then 2 of them up in the corridor, and 1 down the corridor.
The 2 in the room. I'll close the door.
Yep, you just reach out and close the door.
Help, guys.
They're just these ethereal knives rotating around Mike.
I'm just going to step forwards to the one that's swiping at me. If that was one, I just see what Mike's doing. Not really
Yep.
sure what she's doing, but I just assume that we can just walk towards them.
Okay.
Have those of us that didn't roll well on that first one acknowledged the fact that all of this is happening, or are we still sort
Yeah.
of freaked out by whatever's
No,
happening?
you can. Yeah, you can all tell what's happening now.
Yeah, I had my suspicions. If doors closed, I've got light that I can cast at will. I want to cast some light.
Okay. The entire landing illuminates in this magical light. You can kind of see them in more high definition, I guess.
Do they look the same?
Do they respond to the light coming on?
They kind of, yeah. Well, everybody roll an insight check. Everybody.
Everybody.
Finally, a little
Everybody.
better. I got a 14.
14.
15.
What do you get?
8.
8. 14, 15. Ellie,
2.
22. Cool. So with a 14, 18, and 22, they all like shy back from the light, but it's like a lot more performative than reactionary. There's like a fraction of a second before the light hits them. They're like,
Can I go? Can I go into? Oh,
it's
go ahead.
quite theatrical the way that they do it.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, can I try and grab one of them?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Which one do you want to grab? There's a grey creature, there's the ethereal floating one, and there's one with the white hair and skull-like features.
Just whichever one is closest to me, I guess.
So I think the white creature. Yeah, I'm just thinking where they are in the room. And they came out and like moved it to one side. So the sort of the pale faced creature with the white hair would be closer to you, Pip.
White.
Yeah, completely like pale skin, white hair.
I'm just
Go
going to
white.
grab it.
Okay, I need to look at something as well. That is
It'd be like Wizard of Oz, isn't it? It's going to be somebody behind a curtain somewhere.
That's what I said earlier. When we first started calling out Bleh.
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 But then Tim
There's
rolls.
something going on.
Okay, nothing happens.
Do I like, is it physical? Can I grab it?
Yeah. So this is the thing that's got like spiked armor. It's not completely covered in armor. So you grab like between where its forearm and its upper arm is on like the elbow area. Grab it skin on skin, and nothing happens. But it does hiss theatrically at you, and like raises a fist and just shakes it in your face.
I'm just going to pat it and just go, hey, I'm Pip.
Okay. And then it just hisses and jumps backwards into a corner and raises its arms and draws a blade that's covered in, like, the first half of it is covered in, like, what looks like blood.
I'm really not scared of this.
Can I go into the room that they all came out of?
Yeah, you can open up the door and look in.
I'd like to just go in there.
Can you roll another perception check? No, you're in there, please.
11.
Yeah, you don't see anything new. You just see, like, the two grey
But I have the
creatures.
light.
Yeah, you do.
Still the same?
And I think at this point, now all five, the creatures can see all five of each other. They look to each other and kind of shrug. And I need you all to roll initiative. But we'll carry on next week.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't feel
There's
scared.
something
but
fishy going on in this house.
Yeah.
I think you are right with the whole Wizard of Oz thing. Like, they obviously don't really want to fight us. They're just reacting, like, performatively. And
Unless-
we're somewhere.
Unless this is Tim's just been giving us lots of warning.
Yeah.
He's just going to hit us hard next week.
I think there is something weird going on, but there are still 30 undead things in the house. So I don't know what that means.
So has he just told you 30?
No.
I did a
Or
check
did you detect
on.
30?
I did like a divine sense thing that tells me how many undead
Oh.
beings or whatever in the house. But then we only found 5 and we looked in every room.
Mhm.
And the 5 that we did find are weird and theatrical
yeah.
and fake.
Maybe the previous 5 that they were talking about earlier was a theater troupe.
Yeah, Undead on Ice.
Yeah, Dead on Ice.
I would watch it.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so I'd like to thank my players, Ellie, Josh, Annie, Khalil, and Alice. If you'd like to plug your social media, it was an amazing time to do so.
At Bellybob.
At MCM Josh.
At Annie_squirrel.
At Chad.
ALUCY.
And I'm MCM_Tim. Remember, if you don't know what to do, just stay home, stay safe, and see you all next week.